Hey guys, Adelt here. I've been playing mostly for short amounts of time recently, so I'll either get on and play one, or plan to do one warm-up game and realize that I'm out of time. So here's my two most recent warm-up games. So this first game is on Ruins, and if you've watched my most recent videos, on one of them I explained that this is my least favorite map. I could have waited 5 minutes to get into Goblin Caves, but instead I decided I would join in and try to loot up fast before taking a static exit. So that's my entire plan this game. My thoughts were that I'll still be kind of warmed up after killing some mobs and playing some songs, and if I get into a fight with a ranger in an open area, hopefully I can close the distance or just land a few crossbow shots. And based off of that plan, as I got into this game, I realized that I'm near the static exit where I could just drop down into the well and get there. So I'm actually just going to run over and start clearing that area, get as much loot as I can, get as much sellables as I can, and wait until I hear it open. When it opens, I'll drop down and go into the next game. And one very small thing to take notice of is even though the wisp missed me this first time, I actually still lost all of my buffs to it. That is one thing that the wisps are really annoying with Bard, because now I have to play all my songs again, but they're still other mobs, so I could either waste time and buff myself while there's mobs around, or I could try to kill them as fast as possible. I chose here to kill the other mobs first. However, the problem with that is if other people run up to me during this time, I'm going to be in a bad situation because I don't have any buffs, so I'm just a weaker version of anyone else in the game. So now that I looted those few things, I'm going to make sure I get my heals up, make sure I get my buffs up, and then I'm going to keep looting. It probably would have been better if I did this sooner, but I didn't see anyone around me, and so the only thing that I was slightly worried about at this point was a rogue, so I just decided to wait and do everything else first. And these square boxes are really good to loot if you're looking for sellables, because there's very often times that you'll find blue and or green variants of collectibles in them. I'm gonna be honest, I don't do it the most often, but that's because I'm typically just running around looking for fights, because if not I get a little bored. But on this map, this is what I like to do because I'd rather not fight people here, considering how often you run into rangers and rogues. And this is a very open area, so rangers are really strong, and there's a lot of dark areas too, which makes rogues really difficult to fight. The reason that I'm staying sort of near this exit, and I honestly really like it here, is because there's a lot of lit up places, so I'm not as concerned about rogues. And if a ranger comes, there are a decent amount of walls. It is still pretty open, but it's not the worst. So just then we heard the tunnel extract open, and I already have a decent amount of loot, so I'm just gonna make sure I fill it up fully, and then we're gonna head out. Once again, I'm really bad at Tetris. I'm actually just gonna go into the dark corner real quick and then open a chest there and figure it out while I'm in more of a little bit of a safe area, because my brain is thinking about where other people are gonna come from, if other people are gonna come up, and that makes this a lot more difficult for me. So when I get into the dark area, it actually helps for some reason. So now I'm just gonna grab that one piece of treasure and head out, and we can go into the next game. If you are wanting to rank up fast, breaking all those boxes and getting all those sellables will really rank you up fast, like literally 5-6 minutes of gameplay. And I got 483 rank points. I honestly just get bored and I would rather fight people, and so I rank up slower. But if you're wanting to just do that on Bard, it's a very easy way to get rank.
One day later.
Okay, and so this gameplay is from one day later. I actually got off right after that game, and this same thing happened where I got on, I played one game, and then I got off. I did buy some new pants and I think a straw hat before I started playing, so I'm just going to go through my gear again real quick and you'll see those upgrades. Alright, game 2 is back in the Goblin Caves, and this is where I feel the most comfortable. So even when I'm doing warm-up games here, I'm typically trying to run around and find people, and I'll just put myself into fights, even if they feel awkward, because this is a warm-up game. I don't care, I just want to try to make sure I'm doing the best that I can for the next game. And I did decide to loot this room just a tiny bit before moving on. It does have some decent things, and so I killed these center goblins and then do the rest and run over toward the static exit because I can usually find 1 or 2 people over there. I did decide to loot these boxes too, just in case, because sellables. And here I'm deciding to keep the Franciscas because I'm gonna fight whoever I see, regardless of who it is, and if it's a plate fighter, these will help kite them just a tiny bit more. And now that we hear someone, we're gonna go run at them. And this is why I do warm-up games. You're about to see how awful I am with the crossbow and the drums before I practice with them a tiny bit. Usually after 1 or 2 games, I'm good to go, but the first game is always awful. Also, I love superior dexterity for moments like this. He starts to chase me, so I swap to the drum, thinking that I can hit him as he comes through the doorway. But since he didn't, I'm just gonna swap back to the crossbow and reload it. I am able to do that really quickly. Also, when I saw this cleric, I'm assuming he's Ruby Silver, and that's why I'm not getting anywhere near him. I know that he has Smite 2 because he already used it, so if I try to fight him in melee, I will lose. Because of that, I know I need to land a bunch of crossbow shots, and I need to hit him with a drum a bunch of times, but he should never be able to reach me, so that's why I'm trying to play this fight from at least medium range. I don't want to be long range because the drums really suck at long range, but medium range is the perfect place to be, so I just need to make sure I keep my spacing good.
As long as the Matrix exists, the human race will never be free.
Also, this guy's accidentally sat down twice now, and this second one was hilarious because he actually dodged the Curse of Pain because of that. But also, it's just a little weird because he's honestly geared really well. He was able to just destroy that Warlock in melee range, even when I hit a few drums on him at this point. I've crossbowed him at least twice as well, so he's really hurting, and I don't know why he didn't just run at me. So sadly, the skeleton gets the last hit, but whatever, this was really good spacing practice for me. And I already thought so just by how many hits he took, but this guy was geared. Sadly, it wasn't Ruby Silver, it was just Copperlight. I was really hoping it was Ruby Silver. And once again, you get to see my horrible looting skills. I'm sitting here thinking about how I'm going to be able to keep all of my drums. And instead, I never actually look at his buckler, which is the one piece of gear that he had on that I would actually be able to use. Not counting his jewelry, which were actually 2 really good upgrades for me. I tried to throw my drum at it to kill it for fun there, and that was a giant mistake. And right here I see an escape portal. As I'm running up to it, I am playing Shriek of Weakness just in case there's a stealth rogue sitting there watching it. There wasn't, so we just get to go out. And as always, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And if you haven't already, if I could just ask you to do one thing for me, please consider liking, commenting, or subscribing to this channel. It really does help me out, and I really appreciate it. I hope that y'all have a great day. Here's the loot we got, and peace.